Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. I'm GetGoodGuy and I'm sorry for another delay between videos. It's been a really crazy period for me, to be honest. So I'm really hoping it's all done with now and my regular uploads can resume. So, Happy New Year to you all. It's 2020 and we've got a whole year ahead of us to try to achieve whatever we want. And of course create vast disappointments for ourselves on occasion as well. But one place I want to limit your disappointment as much as I can is in Battlefield 5. And so I'm bringing to you my list of the best gun for every class in BF5 at the start of 2020. So you know what's really slaying at the start of this new decade, and you can take advantage of it. And I have done a lot of these lists recently, and even did a best gun list not too far back. But with a fresh year here, it felt right to kick things off with a fully up-to-date one, especially as time to kill values keep moving around, the meta shifts here and there, and it's kinda hard to keep up. Plus, my opinion obviously can alter over time. This is valid for the start of 2020, but will no doubt alter as the year progresses. But as ever, if you've seen one of my lists before, you'll know that it is purely my opinion rather than an official definitive list. It's here to entertain you, hopefully help some of you, and your part of the deal is to share your list below, either now or at the end of the video, so we can see all the different things that people use and then point and laugh at the stupid ones. Well, no, of course not. But it is always fun seeing all the different selections. And maybe a bit of pointing and laughing. And let's kick this off with the Assault class, and it's the STG. I'm not sure how I could have picked anything else, and there are two ways of explaining why. The simple way and the more complex way. So the simple way is just to say, look at how many people are using the STG. A basic rule of video games is generally that if something is used to an extensive degree, there are three main reasons for it. It's either extremely good, extremely easy, or both. And for me right now, I'd say the STG is both good and easy to use. It's a pretty top tier option for just general play. It's versatile, which doesn't always mean something is top tier, because usually versatile guns aren't dominant specialized options. But the STG is pretty damn good at basically everything right now. It's got a solid time to kill up close, it's easy to land your damage at mid-range, and now that so many guns are total laser beams, even on console, well, the STG benefits from that as well. Basically, it's one of the few guns where you don't have to consider your range or situation all that much due to that accuracy, ease of use, and decent, at least, bullets to kill at least some ranges. More so than some other guns out there. Yes, the balancing isn't very good, as we keep going over. But yeah, the STG is just really solid now, and its overall usage points to that. I mean, the STG has been pretty popular throughout BF5's lifespan, but right now it's totally justified. But what about the more complex and detailed answer? Well, it becomes a case of comparison. So right now the semi-auto rifles are objectively a less than stellar option. Why were they so good before? Well, due to the unaltered time to kill at that time and greater recoil among other weapons. Not to mention the lack of auto rotation on controllers. But now, well, now we have a time to kill where weapons generally kill more slowly in terms of bullets to kill for an optimal overall time to kill, and it's obvious how those circumstances combined can hurt what the semi-autos have to offer. Then we have that the vast majority of weapons are now super easy to handle and are extremely accurate. Something like the STG fits right into this point. So again, a real strength of the semi-autos, range and accuracy, is now less impressive by comparison. And to round out, auto-rotation aim assist helps players to acquire the target. So all weapons can utilize this. Again, that's with a controller. I've seen some say on mouse and keyboard it doesn't work, although I don't know personally. Regardless, this leaves an automatic weapon like the STG looking really strong. A solid time to kill, pretty solid magazine size, super simple recoil, and easy target acquisition. It's clear the STG dominates the semi-autos, and the argument of just hit your headshots is poorly thought out. Otherwise, everyone may as well use a sniper all the time, but we aren't walking aimbots. So the ease of use of the STG shines bright. Now if we expand into the automatic competition of the Assault class, well, the STG currently, in January 2020, has a faster time to kill than the Sturmgewehr 1-5 at all ranges. Which is ridiculous, but absolutely true. The M1907 SF is good at close to mid-ish range, obviously, but lacks the versatility and range capabilities of the STG, and the Ribbe Rollers is a great weapon for some players, but I just think the STG is better and easier to use. Some may disagree, but that's my opinion, and I'll point once again to the mass usage of the STG right now as being solid evidence. If the Riborelli was that easy to use and effective, then we'd see far more of them. And so whether you look at it from a simple or complex perspective, the STG is pretty damn strong. Possibly a bit too good, or the Sturmgewehr 1-5 is too weak, or maybe both, I don't know. Whatever the truth is, the current balancing means the STG has little solid competition. I'll give a quick shout out to the AGM/42 as being probably the standout semi-auto, due to that fast 2-shot headshot kill. But for those that can't utilize it, it's a non-factor, and thus, the STG is my choice for the best assault gun in BF5 at the start of 2020. Okay, moving on, and we come to the medic class. I've gone for the jungle carbine, and bros, babes, and boy do you look good today, you're welcome. That was really random. I truly expected by now to be seeing a lot more jungle carbines, but because I don't, let me briefly cover the more traditional automatic medic weapons that I feel are worth mentioning. Firstly, the Type 100. Everyone and your mum is currently using this gun on medic. It's good, versatile, and all that jazz, but do I think it's as good as many believe it to be? No, but it is good, and it's the current popular choice. Also, shout out to the EMP and the MAB-38 as being the smart choices for this current meta. Honestly, they can slap fat cheeks in the right hands. Yes, get those fat cheeks in your hands, but in other news, the Tommy gun and the Suomi obviously still shred at close range. And I'm sorry if I'm being a bit loud here and it's causing echoes, I've just now noticed, but we're this far into the recording, so we're just gonna deal with it. With that covered, and thus hopefully reducing the amount of but this SMG is so good, why didn't you mention it comments, the jungle carbine may still be the best gun in the game, if you have the right skill set. Yes, I really do mean that. It's not quite as good as it was just recently by comparison, due to I believe that tweak happening that I mentioned earlier for close range time to kill, so a lot of weapons kill quickly at very close range again, but still, listen, say you don't know anything about Battlefield 5, and I just put it out to you like this. It's a gun that you can use with a scope, it has a 2-shot kill to the body, it's a 1-shot kill to the head, it fires at either 83 or 99 rounds per minute according to sim.gg, depending upon your specialization, it has fairly easy to manage recoil, you don't need to de-scope between shots, and you can self-heal as much as you want due to the class that it's in. So if you're good with it, you can 2-tap people at close to mid-range, you can basically snipe with it also due to that 1-shot headshot, and you can heal over and over again. How could that possibly not be seen as being problematically strong? Like, it baffles me that I don't see the jungle carbine everywhere, or at least the bolt action carbines in general. I guess it's easier to use some of the SMGs I mentioned earlier, but goddamn this thing is good. During this session to get the footage for this video, the jungle carbine was the easiest match for me by far. And I mean by this logic, you could use any bolt action carbine you like, as I kind of alluded to before. I just really like the jungle carbine, and thus for me it's the best medic weapon in BF5 at the start of 2020. Okay, onto the support class, and let's speed this up because I'm taking way too long and I have to play some Destiny once I'm done, now my body doesn't feel too bad. Okay, so the KE7 is my choice. Yes, it's suddenly late 2018 again, but for real, I chose the KE7 for my list of easy to use weapons, and goddamn is that true. But whereas before the KE7 was popular purely because of ease of use and the netcode issues, on this occasion it's because of its ease of use and genuinely decent spot in the meta. With the current balancing, the KE7 excels within the range that most gunfights take place, especially within a class of weapons that kind of got mullered by the TTK changes. So the KE7 is my choice over the LS26 and the FG42 due to their smaller magazines and also lol FG42 lol. The BAR is also actually pretty solid, but I prefer the KE7 for its simplicity and consistency, no switching fire modes or whatever, the KE7 just does what it's supposed to do. It also seems to compete pretty well with a lot of the other popular close-ish range weapons. MMGs are also mega lollage now, so no to them. And the Lewis gun and the Madsen are solid for mid to long range, but yeah, the K7 is better within a multitude of scenarios, and again, especially within the most commonly contested ranges. Shotguns, by the way, can be pretty epic, but they're obviously hampered by range, or a need to be very, very precise with slugs, and also some people just aren't very good with them because of the extra skill set that's needed, unless you just sit in a corner and then really not offering very much. I did have the 12G shotgun as the best support gun in a recent list, but since then I've learned just how potent the K7 is again, plus those close range TTK changes changes were implemented since then, and I believe that may have buffed up the K7 a little bit, and thus, the K7 is my choice for the best support gun in BF5 in early 2020. Alright, okay, onto the recon class, and my old favourite is once again my current favourite. It's come right back around, guys. The ZH-29. Why? When I definitely didn't pick it when I did my best list towards the end of last year. Well, because I picked a bolt-action sniper last time, and since then, again, the aforementioned close-range TTK was tweaked back to similar levels to where it was before the initial change. Yup, I am tired of having to keep track of all the TTK changes. But that means that bolt-action rifles struggle in closer ranges a bit more again, especially on console, so a more forgiving self-loading rifle choice can be considered an optimal choice again. And also I'm going for a self-loading rifle because the changes to the trench carbine suck, which was my close-range go-to for recon. For me, that gun is now just a totally suboptimal choice due to balancing. And yes, the raw stats do back me up if you look into them. And so recon is a little bit like moldy balls at close range again. And do remember that semi-auto rifles of the assault class, as I mentioned earlier, aren't particularly wonderful right now. So the self-loading rifles can kind of benefit that to a certain degree, because there won't be as many semi-autos out there to try to counter them. Although the STG can still obviously cause you a lot of problems, but by the by, that's besides the point. For the recon class specifically, self-loading rifles are a solid option, and we land at my favourite self-loading rifle, the ZH-29, a 2-shot kill weapon. One more round to utilise than a self-slider 1906 can, although that gun is also super nice and tasty. Plus, the trait that allows you to spot anyone you hit with a shot is great, making for a very easy follow-up shot with something like the ZH-29, and so without dragging this one out, that's my choice for the best recon gun in BF5 in early 2020. And so that's my overall list of the best guns for every class in BF5 at the start of 2020. Be sure to leave your list in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like the video, turn on notifications, buy 20 of each piece of merchandise, thank you, I appreciate it, and feel free to follow my stream and join my Discord server in the description and my pinned comment. Here's the Board of Awesome for the epic people who support the channel on Patreon. They're all absolute heroes and love them more deeply and of course, often. If you want to join them on the Board of Awesome, the link to the Patreon page is in the description and my pinned comment. And with that all said, I am GetGoodGuy and I will see you next time. Laters. Without any bias at all, and this video is brought to you today by my merch. Yep, get it now while you can. I'll be retiring these original designs at some point in the near future. It's your classic GetGoodGuy look, and it makes you look approximately 23 times more attractive, which is a lot. Link is in the description and my pinned comment.